I'm Brian Van, SportbikeTrackYour.com, and today we're going to do a review on the all-new Woodcraft fork bottom front stand. Okay, this is a partner for the adjustable rear stand from Woodcraft. Same concept. It's going to come modular like this. We've got the quad wheels. We have adjustable height on both sides. And this is going to allow you to lift your motorcycle from the bottom of the fork tube. First thing we need to do is get this assembled. It's really easy to do. We'll start off by sliding into position the bicycle clamps that just secure everything. Once you slide the uprights in there, you're going to tighten those up. And then we need to put the uprights together. Okay, with the uprights, I want to slide that through. I put a little bit of grease in there too. It's lubricated, which is a good call. There are two grooves where the snap ring can be installed. The reason for that is going to be different with the front of the motorcycle. We're going to show you how to deal with that. So for right now, I'm not going to be installing the snap rings. What I'm going to do is I'm going to come over here and I'm going to slide the uprights into position on both sides. Like we showed you with the rear stand, there are numbers to indicate height. At the very front of the stand, you need to install that lock pin. Once you do that, tighten the bicycle seat post clamp. That's going to hold that firmly. Still no snap ring. I'm going to repeat the process on the other side. I know the number that I want to be on. You want to make sure they're even. Slide that in there. Snug that up like so. I have my two snap rings handy, a pair of snap ring pliers, and now we'll go over to the motorcycle. All right, here's where I want to get these dialed in and also the height. You don't want to lift the bike too high, and you also don't want to lift it so that it barely comes off the ground. You need to have enough clearance for tire warmers and things like that. So let's start by dialing in the width. And as I come over to the bike and get started here, it's really clear that I'm going to need these all the way out. So that's where we're going to start. Pair of snap ring pliers. There's other tools you could use to get this done if you don't have a pair of snap ring pliers. These aren't that difficult to spread apart. Make sure you are firmly in that groove. Kind of rotate it around once you have it in there. That'll let you know that you're in the groove. We're going to do that on both sides. Okay, now that we've done that, and I've picked, what I believe to be a reasonable location. How I arrived at this initial height was I basically had the stand like this. I looked at the bottom of the fork leg, determined I want to be lifting approximately 2 inches, so I put it there. Roll this into position. On the R1, you want to try and avoid putting a lot of pressure on that wheel speed sensor. You also want to make sure that the front leg is in front of the center point of the fork, like so. That is where you're going to get your most secure lifting. Check that on both sides, and now you're ready to lift. Lifting effort is reasonable, no doubt. Get a tape measure, measure that. I know that I'm at about 2 inches right now. It's good and even. So that part for me is dialed in. If you need to adjust, obviously take the stand and remove it from the bike. Adjust the height, make sure both sides are even, make sure your lock pins are in. Your seat post clamps are tight before you lift the motorcycle. Again, he's also built in some other features here that are kind of cool, and I'm going to show you that right now. You're able to hold the axle and the axle nut with these little grooves that are down here. Okay, let's do like a mock tire change right now and show you how these are going to work. I've already removed the caliper on the other side, so we'll come over here and do that. And then we'll be able to pull the axle out. like so. caliper out of the way, and now we can It's also very important to note that you have to be using a rear stand when you do this. We have the bike on a work table. It is properly supported because the rear wheel is in the clamp right now. So for us, that's not a concern, but make sure that you're using this with a rear stand at the same time. If you try to use the front stand alone, you are 100% going to drop your bike. That is not going to work out good. So you can see on that side, very easily was able to slide that Driven Racing Endurance Cup as well as that stock axle nut right over. And for the axle, let's get that to slide out. Like so. That is pretty intuitive. And the way he was able to incorporate that into the bottoms of the fork leg adapters, I think that's pretty bitchin'. And that's what happens when you have a guy who rides and races a motorcycle that's also engineering the products that he offers. That's going to keep those out of the dirt. Great feature. This is a sweet partner for the Woodcraft adjustable height rear stand. This is the all new Woodcraft fork bottom lift front stand. I'm Brian Van, SportbikeTrackGear.com.